All right, greetings everyone. Looking at the second half of our textbook in Unit 5, we're talking about cultural expectations. When you move abroad, what are some of the cultural expectations that you may experience? So cultural expectations actually cover a very wide variety of things, such as how you greet each other, what kind of clothes you can wear, the food that you can eat, and how you eat food. It determines how you relate to family. It determines your holidays and how you celebrate your holidays. Everything regarding marriage is part of these cultural expectations and the cultural facets that you experience in a new place. Politics, education, religious, things that you do when someone's born, things that you do when someone dies. Now, I have a few cultural practices that you might find interesting. In the country of Nicaragua in Central America, they have a rule where you don't point with your finger. Instead of pointing with a finger, you point with your lips. I don't really know how that works, but so you point with your lips instead of a finger. There's another place, maybe you know that in Malaysia, instead of pointing, we call this our index finger. Instead of pointing with an index finger, you're required to point with your thumb, whichever direction you want to go, because pointing with an index finger is considered very rude. Another couple interesting ones in Greece. In the country of Greece, when someone gets married, when they leave the church where they get married, the people that are attending the marriage spit on the bride and the groom. I don't know, what do you think about that? There are some other ones here. Let me look at another one. In Denmark, a very popular place to hang out with your friends is nowhere besides the cemetery. Interesting place, a very practical place. I don't think I've heard of anyone doing that in Morocco, but maybe I could be wrong. Here about eating food. In Japan, you're expected to slurp your noodles. Slurping means to go when you eat noodles. In America, that's considered very impolite. But in Japan, that's considered polite and appropriate mealtime behavior. When we greet people in America, we normally shake hands. I've noticed some people here in Morocco, they put their hand to their chest. In India, there was a number of ways that people would greet. Some people would greet by going, Namaste. And if you were greeting an older family member, people would reach down and touch their feet with their hands and then either touch their heart or their head as a sign of respect for their elders. So these are different cultural expectations and customs that might be strange to you, but you might have some customs that may be strange to someone else. You can see in your textbook page, I didn't write the page number down, page 30, what page is that? Sorry about that. Page 32, you see some etiquette tips for international travelers. Etiquette, I believe this is a French word, meaning things that you do to be polite. So in Canada, you always bring a small gift for the host when invited for a meal. That's nice. In France, when you're eating, you don't put your elbows on the table. In Morocco, you don't eat anything with your left hand. That's what they tell me, and I've noticed that. Although I see sometimes people break bread with their left hand, so I don't think it's too strict. In Brazil, when someone invites you for a party, you're supposed to come 15 to 30 minutes late at a minimum. I have some good Brazilian friends, and they told me that this is true. In places like Japan, you're supposed to take off your shoes before entering a house. And in China, you never point your chopsticks at another person. And in Thailand, you never touch a person's head. Interesting. Which one do you think is the strangest out of all of these customs? What do you think is the strangest for growing up here in Morocco? I would like you to turn to the next page. You have on page 33 the grammar focus, point 8. In section 8, you have expectations. How do you communicate expectations? So what we're looking at is just some simple phrases. It's the custom to, you aren't supposed to, you are supposed to, you're expected to, you aren't expected to, you're supposed to, you're not supposed to. Oh, I already said that. It's not acceptable to, or it is acceptable to. So expectations. When you visit someone, it's the custom to bring a small gift. It's the custom. Is it required? No, but it's a good thing to do. It's the custom to bring a small gift. When you visit someone, you aren't supposed to arrive early in Brazil. Okay, so if you arrive early, is it okay? Not that okay. You're supposed to arrive late. It is better to arrive late. That's what people expect. If you want to bring others, you're expected to ask if it is okay first. It's expected. That means if you don't do it, people will be maybe a little upset, or they might be a little confused. Or it says, if you bring others, you're supposed to check with the host. It's not acceptable to bring someone without asking. It's not acceptable means it's really not okay. Now I want to look at something, the difference between if and when. The difference between if and when. Look at these two sentences. I am going to go to America this summer. Or I might go to America this summer. So which one, if I know that I'm going to do something, which one will I use? If or when? So if or no, the top sentence, I am going to go to America this summer. So would I say, if I go to America this summer, I will visit my uncle? Or would I say, when I go to America, I will visit my uncle? So in the first example, I am very sure. I'm confident I am doing that. So I would say, when I go to America, I will visit my uncle. But if I am not sure, I might do it, maybe yes, maybe no. I might go to America this summer. So I would rather say, if I go to America this summer, I will visit my uncle. Do I know that I am going to America? No. But if I do, I will visit my uncle. So there's two options in the second sentence, I might go to America, but there's only one option. So if you are confident about what you are going to do, you would say, when I go to America, I will visit my uncle. So we'll look at this up here. When you visit someone, this is something that is planned. But if it says, if you want to bring others, this is something that you might do, but you might not do. So if you want to bring others, you're expected to ask if it is okay first. Or when you visit someone, it is a custom to bring a small gift. So here we go. So what I would like you to do is, in the grammar section 8a and 8b, you're going to do this individually. You're going to do this, you don't have to send a picture of this to me, but I would like you to guess the instruction in letter A. Match the information in columns A and B to make sentences about customs in the United States and Canada. So you're going to guess about American culture. If someone sends you a gift, number 1, what is the best option? I would say E. You are expected to thank the person. If someone sends you a gift, you are expected to thank the person. Do numbers 2 through 6, and if you have any questions on them, or whichever ones you think are the strangest, I would like you to post that in the comment section in Google Classroom. And after you finish that, do number C, or letter C, where you look at Moroccan culture, Moroccan etiquette tips. And then I would like you to share 2 Moroccan etiquette tips using you're supposed to, or it's expected to, or it's acceptable to. Leave 2 comments in the comment section in Google Classroom about etiquette tips for Morocco. So what are you supposed to do now? Yes, you're supposed to do 8A. You're guessing about the culture in America and Canada. And if you think any of them are silly or strange for Morocco, you leave that in the comments. And then you are going to leave 2 comments about 2 cultural tips for Morocco. So you could tell when you, if a friend is in the hospital, what are you expected to do here in Morocco? Leave a comment in the Google Classroom comments for this video. And you will find on Google Classroom as well a couple activities that will go along with the second half of Unit 5. After you have finished those on Thursday evening, I will be posting a link for the media projects, for the writing and the speaking media projects. But make sure you do these activities first, because it will prepare you for what you are doing later. Signing off. Found it. Noggin. See ya.